And that's my views on it. But just coming back to the game, I mean, I was sitting watching Scrum 5, and even when I was watching the game, when Jonathan Davis was analysing the Ione try, I mean, what we should have done. I mean, the only thing I don't understand is you've got him there. You know, surely they must have known what was coming. But Gatlin said before the game, our aim needs to be to stop those wingers. If they'd done their research correctly from watching the Rugby Championship, like all us do, you would see that, you know, from set pieces, they're always bringing Mackenzie, their wingers in off the wing. It's always a ploy. Now, what I don't understand is why on earth, why from that line out, didn't they just put Taulupe Faletau defending at centre, so that whoever comes down that channel gets absolutely hammered into next week and the try is stopped? That's what I don't understand. And to me and a lot of people, that is the obvious thing to do. But then you look and you just ask yourself why that wasn't planned before, and how they didn't see that coming if they'd done their research and they'd done their analysis well enough. So that is, to me, point number one. And point number two, I think you've got to stick with Owen Williams. I mean, he's just brought an extra dimension to our game. Brilliant player. I think he's one of those players where he does his job. He's there to be the distributor. Like Owen Farrell is for England. He does his job. He doesn't stand out majorly. He doesn't do anything flash, but he does what he's picked to do. He puts people into the space they need. He attracts defenders, and he does exactly what he's paid to do, which is all you ever want of someone. I mean, as I said, Priestland playing really well. That seems to have given Dan Biggar a bit of a kick up the backside, and I thought Dan Biggar had his best game in a long time on Saturday. As I just mentioned, Hal Amos I thought was brilliant. Steph Evans, I mean, he's played reasonably well. I wouldn't say he's stood out specially, but he hasn't let himself down. He's played well. And Saturday as well, I thought Lee Halfpenny had a decent game, played really well. And yeah, I mean, again, same old story. I think it shows how good the British and Irish Lions were to draw the series. And I think anybody, Sean O'Brien in particular, anybody who tries to say or even thinks we should have won that series 3-0 or is absolutely deluded off their trolley, just lost their minds. And I just think it shows how good the Lions were. But in all honesty, I think lots of positives. You know, to only be a point behind at half time, I think lots of positives. And just a couple of silly mistakes, lapse of concentration, and line breaks were the main difference. But I think lots of positives. And I think as we're as we're trying to try this new style of play, I think before the autumn started, I think if anyone had given to us beat Georgia, hopefully beat South Africa tomorrow, whilst introducing the new style of play, I think anyone would have taken to win 50% of your games, a 50% win record in the autumn, and perfect your new style of play. I think that would have been deemed as a successful autumn. And personally, I'm a positive person. I don't like negativity, all this doom and gloom. I'm a positive person, and obviously, don't get me wrong, there's lots of work-ons, but I think there's definitely lots of positives, and I think the new style of play is boding well, and I think come the Six Nations, touchwood, provided the Australia and New Zealand team, first choice team, is fit, plus Sam Warburton, George North, and a couple of other players to come back. I think, and in a way, us going into the Six Nations this year, as much underdogs as we are going to now, maybe that will help us. And I think we could do better this year than a lot of people think. In terms of the Six Nations, I think it's gonna be awesome. Home games these days are even more important. Scotland home first game is going to be a massive, massive game. Townsend has taken what he's done with Glasgow, he's taken it to Scotland. They're a really good team now. England, Ireland. Just in general, British rugby is very, very strong. And the home games are massive, and the first game against Scotland will be huge. But I think we may do better this year than people think. And tomorrow, in terms of the Springbok game, I think if we're anywhere near the level of the All Blacks game, I think we should beat them comfortably, because the Springboks are a bit like the French at the moment. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know which team's turning up. No one does. 1 week they run the All Blacks close by a point, the next week they're getting hammered. No one quite knows who's going to turn up. So I think if we're to a man on form tomorrow, I think hopefully it should be a comfortable win. But let's see. Right, next question. Who was a better flanker, Craig Moses or Dale Newell?